And we're back here on the Stogie Geeks show, smoking some great cigars, drinking some fine scotch.
Absolutely.
Oh, that
Cheers
scotch
to Mark's
is... Oh,
father-in-law, ex-father-in-law.
wow.
Thank you.
That is
thank you.
absolutely amazing scotch.
Louis D.
It's got that
Yes.
little bit of the scotch kind of bite to it, and a smooth and sweetness.
You know,
and
the sweetness is so prevalent at the back end of the palate.
It's got a lot going for it. Wanted to remind everyone that you can watch us live every week. Check our Twitter, check our Facebook account. We're Stogie Geeks on Facebook and Twitter for the show times. We're usually on a Thursday or a Friday night. StogieGeeks.com/live. You can smoke with us live. If you want to sit down and have a cigar with us, you can't make it out to Rhode Island, you can do it virtually. Come to our website, StogieGeeks.com/live. You can watch all of our videos, read all of our blog posts, and subscribe to all of our podcasts on our website, www.stogiegeeks.com. I am very excited for a lot of reasons right now. One, we're going to talk about how our very special Smoke 'em While You Got 'em cigars are doing. The very special ones that are sitting there in the bottom of your humidor that you've been waiting for that special occasion. Your special occasion is episode 18, and I encourage you that if you're listening to the show after the fact, that you sit down and listen to the show while you're smoking one of your very special cigars. Mm-hmm. I wanted to create an occasion where people can smoke their really great cigars,
Correct.
right?
You have May breakfast. We have May cigars.
May cigars. Stogie Santa, how is your cigar doing
That
today? Camacho 2005 Liberty.
Absolutely. 2005. Excuse me, Paul. Absolutely delicious. Took it down. The strength went from maybe, some people say medium full, dead on medium, sweetness. The chocolate went away for me, but overall, not disappointed whatsoever. So I think it's on a downward spiral if you wait any longer. So if you had the 2005 sitting in the back of the humidor, please take it out, smoke it, because if you don't, you may lose what you think you have in that cigar. So that being said, I think you would enjoy it. Yeah, absolutely, because, again, I can't say it enough. The chocolate is there, very faint where it was before. The sweetness is there. The spice dissipated. But I'll tell you what, the transition in that cigar, again, I from my chops flapping here all the time, I had to light it a couple of times, but that was due to me. Please revisit the cigar if you have it. I know it's only a small release. I'm sure some of our listeners, somebody out there, please, if you have that, smoke it and give a feedback, negative, positive, whatever it happens to be. I'm really curious to see.
Mark
what's going
Jr.
on.
I regrettably finished mine. My cigar.
It was
in the
that good,
bottle.
huh?
It. The last time I checked in, it was like the middle third, and that's when the leather really started to come forward in it. The signature Opus X leather, which continued to build through the end of the cigar, to the point where it and I mean, if I could light up that nub again, I would. But that would just hurt.
I think your eyes just said it all, because each and every time you took a draw, the eyes got wider and wider. It's one of the short time that I've known Mark Jr. here. I've seen those eyes like I haven't seen him quite like that in a long time.
That was, without getting too overboard, the best cigar I've ever had.
Really? Wow.
I would gladly endure the blisters on my elbows and stomach from belly crawling across the desert to get my hands on another one.
Nice. Nice. Very nice.
And
Tim,
Paul?
Tim, how you doing over there?
Oh, I nubbed this thing down to a half inch, man. I just took a picture of the nub. Burned my lips on it. Fantastic. Actually lit up a Noir brown label, which is the Miami version.
Nice.
Of that cigar, and I'm about a third of the way through that now.
Yeah, I have to say. So I want to go around. Stogie Santa, I've smoked 2004 Camacho Liberty. I smoked several 2007 Camacho Liberties. I could never find the 2005. I think people herald it as the best in the series.
Oh, it's true. I mean, again, you got to put it in perspective. I'm not taking any away from Mark's cigar. Great explanation, yours. But in that category of cigar. They're
Yeah.
next to impossible to find.
I have to say, the
They're-
2004 was absolutely amazing. I took it down on July 4th. My whole family was over. I was grilling and hanging around in the yard, and I just enjoyed every puff of that cigar. The 2007s, I have 2 of the 2007s left in my humidor, and I can't wait to smoke them now because they are equally as amazing. That has the barber pole wrapper on the
Yep, right,
2007.
right.
Freaking awesome. I've never had a 2006. I've had the 2008, 9, and 10. We talked about those on the show. Very good. Probably need a little more age. Now, Mark Jr., we've shared a lot of very special Opus X cigars. Sounds like that one that was extra special. The Nueva Reserva, I had 1 or 2 of those, maybe, that mutual friends, maybe even Stogie Santa, had given to me, the Nueva Reserva. I mean,
Right.
that cigar for me, Tim, and I understand why it was your white whale and why you went to seek it out. It pours flavor like
yeah.
no other Tatawahe cigar does. I mean, the flavor that just comes from that little Corona is just, it's just so enjoyable.
And Tim, I wish you would have. Now, how old is the one that you think you're smoking now? Do you have an age point on that by any chance?
The brown label that I'm smoking there in Miami?
Yes.
This is a new one. However, I do have 2008s and 2009s.
Because I'm going to tell you something. Listeners out there that have that in that age group that Tim was talking about, don't be shortchanged. And unfortunately, Tim, I'm not telling you what your cigar is all about. Unfortunately, you went from to the top of the plateau to you came down. That cigar you're smoking, Tim, is absolutely
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
delicious.
It's fantastic.
Delicious.
Regular Nueas with age on them, I
right.
agree.
If you can get 2 or 3 years on them, oh, yeah. And now I can say this one is a new one I got from Atlantic. It's a good smoke, but it has some harshness on it.
No, I have some old ones for you,
2008s
Tim. I got some old ones. The old ones I
that are
have. we have 'em.
Fantastic. And I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that I have a box of 2009s on the way right now
And-
that I picked up today.
Now, I have to say, going back to the BBMF, has to be one of my favorite sizes, Opus X. I mean, this cigar just, despite a little bit of a draw issue, the draw was a little tight, the flavors were still there, and it's like smoking the Love Affair, which is my favorite size, but larger. And both the BBMFs I smoked, I totally live up to the expectations. Unlike a lot of the other Opus X cigars I've smoked, they live up to the expectations. It's that sweetness and that leather combination that are just unbelievable. They're unbelievable.
Now, not to keep on the Opus X, but you can't help it. Now, I'm going to put Mark Jr. and Paul on the spot. Here you are, pulling out of the humidor, our best smoke you ever had. Start with Paul. If you had to pick out one Opus X that you would say is your favorite cigar, what would it be?
BBMF Maduro, hands
Mark
down.
Jr.
I'm gonna forego the special releases like the BBMF and the cigar in the bottle that I just had.
Okay.
The Triple X Bellicoso.
Wow, interesting.
Wow.
So you take wow.
I have some ones that have varying degrees of age, but all are substantial amounts of age on them. I love them. I love them. I absolutely love them. They don't lose their strength, but they get this sweetness as they get older. That really and then the Petite Lancero. Those are my two.
Yeah, that I would say
Of the regular release
BBMF
sizes.
Love Affair. Petit Lancero is an amazing cigar because as far as Opus goes, it doesn't need a lot of age to smoke really, really well and get a lot of that leather and sweetness combined to make for an awesome smoke.
Okay.
And nobody cares about my phone.
I was just going to ask you. No, Tim, I do. We're sitting Opus X, so take that out of the family. Now, what would you crawl and would have to? I mean, you did your Reserva tonight. Enjoyed it. If you had to pull something out and smoke it right now, this is it. Here's our Mayan calendar tonight. We're going to all perish because of the flat ground, whatever it happens to be. What would you want to pull out and smoke?
It's a good question, man. Damn. I think the 1932, the originals, would be up there for me.
I've got something for you that I think it's not on the par of the 32. I have the original Miami. Why am I saying? I got a brain fart here. Not 911s. What's the original? It's a Corona size. Oh, goodness gracious. I got
Beer?
Please?
Is it Padilla?
Yes, it's the original. Yeah, I got it for you. 911s or 7. No, it's not 711. Of course not.
All
That's
right,
the
we'll
store.
come back to
We'll
that.
come back. But anyway,
Senior, we're having a senior moment.
Senior
here.
moment. I got something for you that would absolutely drive you insane. But
We're going
it's
to
originally-
transition now to talking about auction sites.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this segment for a lot of reasons. I think it's a great way for people to get cigars that they know and love for a really good price.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of education that I think needs to happen.
Absolutely.
And I hope that this segment really brings that education to our listeners. Now, there's a few auction sites on the internet, quite a few, in fact. The ones that I'm going to base this segment on are from CigarBid. That's cigarbid.com from Cigars International, and cigarauctioneer.com from Famous Smoke. Okay, so these are the two big retailers. As a kind of subsidiary to the big online retailers, they have auction sites. Now, just out of the chute, right, that's going to sound gimmicky. Over the years, I've played around with these auction sites a lot, and I want to share with you the tips and tricks. Now, you have to create an account, give them a credit card number, and once you create an account, they will store your credit card number on file. Now, Tim and I both are computer security professionals, and that's kind of a scary thing. I have not had any negative experiences security wise giving my credit card number to these two sites as of yet. One of the things that you will do when you create an account, that's the first thing that you'll kind of like realize when you go into this auction thing, is that when your cigars ship, it's a 1-week batch shipment. So, for example,
Flat rate.
Yeah, it's a flat rate. Cigar Auctioneer charges $5.99. CigarBid is less. I want to say they're $3.99 or $4.95 or something like that.
Oh, actually, I think Cigar.
I thought CigarBid was more. I thought it was like $7.
No,
I want to say Cigar Auctioneer is $6.99. Actually.
no, I checked. Cigar Auctioneer is definitely $5.99 flat rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
you checked.
Well, Mark, you just pulled off the 2003 Puro vintage. So
Yeah,
what
we'll
did
talk
you-
about that. I pulled some.
I've been pulling off I'm relatively new to the cigar auctions, but since I've started going that way, I buy more from there than I do from a regular online retailer.
Yeah.
Right,
So it's a flat rate of shipping. So here's the thing. For example, Cigar Auctioneer, $5.99 flat rate shipping, ships to me every Wednesday. That means everything that I bid on before Tuesday of every week at midnight, so the auction has to close before Tuesday at midnight, will be included in that shipment and arrive at my house on Friday. I mean, it's like clockwork. I've ordered a lot of auctions. As soon as my auctions close, Wednesday they ship, Friday they're at my front doorstep without question on a Friday afternoon. So just keep that in mind when you think, and I did the Wednesday shipment knowing they'll be on Friday. I'm home on Friday. My wife works on Friday, so I can hide my purchases easily. Is essentially what I did. I get home on a Friday afternoon, and I can kind of close those out. I mean, you could end it earlier, you can end it later. It's up to you. It's configurable on both those websites when you want them to close out your auctions. So
Not only that, but you don't want your smoke sitting on the back of a truck in the dead of winter or the dead of summer.
Yeah. So you may want to play around with it to see when, you don't want it to go across a weekend when they're sitting on a truck.
Yeah.
I know that they're going to arrive on Friday like clockwork every time. So let's get into some of the terminology. There's this whole world of terminology with auctions. Let's talk about what a lot is. This is what you're bidding on. A lot is an item or group of items that have been posted for auction. For example, in Arturo Fuente Don Carlos Robusto, the lot can contain one or more of these items or a full box. Okay, so a lot is what you're actually bidding on. It's interesting. I've ordered some Fuente Don Carlos stuff, which is actually a really good cigar.
Yeah.
And you can find them on auction-wise. You find them at a good price. It's a
Right,
great cigar,
right.
so it's a good example. So there's a couple of different kinds of auctions. On Cigar Auctioneer, CigarBid doesn't quite have the distinction, or maybe it doesn't. I've missed it, but I've spent a lot more time on Cigar Auctioneer, and there's two different types of auctions, which, if you've never done online auctions, can be a little confusing. So there's an English auction. In an English auction, a lot is offered for sale at a starting price. Bidders then bid the highest price they're willing to pay for the lot. At the closing of the auction, the lot is sold to the highest bidder. Now, the advantage of the English auction over all other auctions is I can set a reserve. I can say, there's a 5-pack of Arturo Fuente Don Carlos Robustos. Maybe I want to pay $4 a piece. I'm going to bid $20. And if other people bid and they're not, their bid is not $20, my bid still stands. So it'll automatically increase.
Automatic bidding.
Automatically,
eBay.
it's like setting your reserve on eBay, right? You can, and this goes back to my rules of deciding what you want to pay. So the English auction is a good one. Now, a different variation on this is a Yankee auction, and this is where you can get yourself into trouble. So a Yankee auction's a variation on a Dutch auction where one or more identical items are offered for sale at the same time. Now, in this case, where a lot contains multiple identical items, at the closing auction, the highest bidders, plural, win the merchandise at their bid price as opposed to paying the price predetermined by the lowest qualified bidder. What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It means if there are 5 Opus X cigars, I can choose the quantity I want. Say I want one at $7. Someone else can bid one cigar at $8. Someone else can bid one cigar at $9 until the quantity is 5. Okay? So let's say I bid, for example, on a Yankee auction. There's 5 Opus X cigars. I bid one at $7. Some other guy bids 4 at $8. I still win. I still get my one cigar at $7. And what you have to be careful of is when you're bidding on single cigars on a Yankee auction, or even multiple cigars on a Yankee auction, it's each item within the lot. So a common mistake, and I've made this mistake too, is you say, well, I'm going to pay $30, and I want one of them. And you think it's one 5-pack for $30. When in actuality, it's one cigar for $30. So be very careful with a Yankee auction.
You won that auction, didn't you, Paul?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you win that one.
Keep in mind, he's an expert in security.
That's right. That's right. You know, a lot of it is your experiences, and I want to learn from my mistakes. Yes. So, Mark Jr., you've done a lot more of, I think, this next type here, which is a free fall auction.
I love them.
I'm going to relight my cigar, but I'm going to read the description and let you expand upon it. Unlike other auctions where the price is driven up by bids, which makes sense, the free fall auction is driven down by the auction site, and then you decide what you're willing to pay. So tell us about free fall auctions, because you've done really well on these.
I have. I've done very well on them. So typically, cigar bid will take a lot, whether it be, well, I'll speak from experience. I've done some Opus X Lost City Lanceros, Robustos, and a Puro Vintage 2003. So they start X lot at X price, and it goes down incrementally until it reaches the point where they determine that's the lowest they will sell it for, and then it resets back to the
highest price.
Right.
To the highest
first automatic bid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'll talk to my technique on that as well. What I'll do is I'll watch 2 or 3 of them, and I'll see where that lowest price is, and then I determine if that's a price that I'm willing to pay for that item, and then as soon as it hits that, I bid and take it off the lot. Right. So, or take it off auction take the lot off auction for that matter. So
now there's winners and losers in that scenario.
There absolutely is.
Some people may bid a little high, and others may bid when it's at the bottom floor, so to speak.
In terms of the auction sites, I think it's all about strategy in terms of buying. And for the free fall, that's my strategy. I watch it go down, and then I'll just sit there and watch it for a couple more and wait till it gets to that point. Now, it doesn't always get to that point because some people, like you said, will jump the gun and just buy them. But I've had very good luck getting very good high-end cigars for prices that you just can't find them anywhere else.
I've done these too on Cigar Bid, and patience is the key. Mm-hmm. Is watch to see where the lowest number is going to go. Let it rotate up and come back down again. You know where it's going to end.
Exactly, because there's no reason to waste money if you don't have to, right?
Right, absolutely.
And 9 out of 10 times, you're going to get it. I mean, patience is the key. Yeah, there's always that person that's going to jump the gun, But in the end,
But then
will
let
you
them,
real-
and then wait
Yeah,
till
let
it
'em.
goes low again. You know.
Right, it's like
Yeah, let
it's like
'em.
porn
I
stars,
mean,
but cigars.
In my experience, the free fall auctions are never going to change more than $8 to $10.
I don't know about that.
But it depends, I guess, on the lot size. And
It sure does. It
So-
does. It absolutely does. Some of them will vary $20 to $30 if it's a box.
So
You know.
if you're talking, a box of Opus X, I can imagine so. I mean,
Yeah,
it's going to
yeah.
be great.
They once had on a free fall a box of the CFCF charity boxes, which, as we'd already mentioned, can be over $1,000, and they started at $1,050 and ended at $800. So,
Oh, there you go.
I mean, that's
Talking $200.
$250. I mean, if you weren't disciplined on that, you could have cost yourself
Yeah.
another box of cigars.
Right.
Quite
I'm
frankly,
sure when people see that
Again,
1,050,
patience
they
is
look
key.
exactly, Tim.
Now
They'll say
the
950, I'll take it.
opposite to that is the quick buy, right? Which allows you to buy the lot at a predetermined or discounted price, eliminating the bidding process. To me, that kind of ruins the whole mystique of the auction.
not to mention, none of them ever reached a quick buy.
Yeah.
The more you
Yeah.
pay attention, they never ever reach that. So just keep
Now,
bidding.
one other caution. Now, we mentioned that when you bid on the Yankee auctions, you're bidding on portions of the lot, and to be mindful of that. Also, stay away from auction sites that charge you to bid. So here's what I do. I buy $30 worth of credits. When cigars come up on auction, I bid with my credits. This is a total scam. Cigar Sniper was one of the sites that I tried this out. I bought like $30 worth of credits just to.
Curious if you actually tried Cigar Sniper.
Yeah, I did. I tried it, and it's a total scam. Because here's what happens: you may get a box of cigars for $2, right? Because you're bidding with your credits, and they'll let that box go at $2 because the other auctions where you've paid to bid, like they've collected your $30 already, and the price is driven up and at a regular price, they've gotten more money because when you're not paying to bid, you can just bid and it doesn't cost you anything. When you're paying to bid, they're getting money. So they're making up for it on the back end. They're making up for the fact that if they put something out there and a lot of people bid on it, not only you're paying for it with your money, and you're using your money to pay for it, they're making that up. And it's just a total scam. You go read on the forums about Cigar Sniper. It explains it in a lot more detail, like the economics of how these pay-for-bid sites work. Again, what it ends up translating to is the bottom line. Some smaller percentage of people get cigars for a deeply discounted price. Other people pay a premium or what the cigars would really be worth. And it all comes out in the wash. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Great points, gentlemen.
So, some rules when you bid. In this first rule here, like if the only thing you get from this segment is this first rule, this is all you need to know. Decide the maximum price you're willing to pay before you bid. So you see something on auction, it could be a starting bid at $0 or $1, which some of them do. Some of them will put a box of cigars for $1, and they'll put the auction out there for 6 days, right? Some of them will start the bid at some minimum price, like $100, and that's what you start at. It doesn't matter. Some of them put lots out there, and it's there's no starting bid usually when it's a Yankee auction, and it's each item within the lot is what you're deciding to bid on. Doesn't matter. Go there, look at what you're bidding on, and say, what would I like to pay for that? I typically, I'll first start off maybe bidding 40%. But what's that 40% off? Don't pay attention to what the auction site is listing as MSRP. Don't pay attention to what the manufacturer is listing as MSRP. Take what you're bidding on. Your box of Padron 3000s. What do those cost? Stogie Santa, what do those cost?
You're
Put you on the
looking
spot.
at $145.
Yeah. So you go online, you go to your local brick and mortars, and you say, my box of Padron 3000s should roughly cost around $145. So when I go bid, if it were me, maybe my max bid is $100. That's what I want to pay for the cigars on auction to get a good deal. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But if you go into it knowing, here's what I want to pay, you're always going to win.
An educated buyer.
Yeah, you don't want to go into a bidding war,
Right.
unless it's a super rare thing. And even if it's a super rare thing, so those BBMFs I got, I paid $60 per cigar, but I had it in my head the most I'm willing to pay, $60 per cigar.
No, you said in your head, but see, I think you gave yourself a little bit more credit. You said you put it in your head, but you knew what that cigar cost before you even put your you're going looking for. So
I knew that
homework.
I knew that I knew that paying 70 plus a cigar,
Right.
yeah, probably not worth it. I mean, but that was a Yankee auction where there was 3 of them, so you couldn't set a reserve.
Right.
So that was one. I was up till midnight going, no, I'll bid a little more, and I'm like, you get down, and a lot of them, what they'll do is, for example, if there's 3 Opus X BBMFs, I bid $57. Someone will bid me at $58 within the last 2 minutes of the auction, and what they'll do is automatically extend the auction to another 5 minutes. So I have the liberty of saying, okay, $59. Then I was outbid, or $58. So I was outbid at $59. So I bid 61 or something, and I ended up winning. So a lot of those Yankee auctions, you're going to be in it until the very last minute, unless you're sitting there at midnight, which is another tip. Look for the auctions that close at midnight, because a lot of those are, they're making people stay up till midnight to know when that auction's going to end. So,
good point.
I have one thing to add to that too, in doing your research on what things cost. We know Cigar Auctioneer is famous. We know Cigar Bid is CI, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Go search those sites for the
see what
cigars you're bidding on.
They may be on sale.
A lot of times,
know what you're doing.
A lot of times, those cigars that you're bidding on are already deeply discounted on those 2 sites.
No, it's
and it might be
It's
easier
called
just to buy them straight
Let's
out.
do that. Padron Anniversary, right?
Yep.
You're not going to get a deal on Padron Anniversary on
No,
auction.
it
not.
happened.
No,
It
you're
is.
You're not. Believe me, I've gotten maybe $10 off
That's
a gift set.
That's the taxes that you're getting off.
That's taxes and shipping, right? And so if you want those cigars, you can maybe save $5 to $10 on a Padron Anniversary. If I don't have any in my humidor, hey, saving $5 to $10 is $5 to $10 I have to spend on a one $7 stick that may come out, or whatever, 2 $5 sticks that I may want to try. So you got to watch your cigar budget there.
Yeah, I mean, to my point, too, is, you see, say, I'm just going to throw it out there, Capaguans for 40% off on Auctioneer. But you go up to Famous, do a search, you realize they're selling them for 60% off on the Famous site.
Right, and you can just
Well,
order
heck,
them.
why don't I buy the 5-pack for 40% off, and I'll do a box split for the 60% off,
Yep.
get more cigars for the same amount of money. So, again, do your research. I think.
And also be mindful of the shipping cost and frequency, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
A lot of times I'll find some cigars really cheap, $3 a stick, and I'll bid on them and I'll get 3 of them. And then I'll be like, damn, I'm paying $7 shipping. So I'll bid in a few more things just to make it worth my while. But also be mindful, if you got a ton of stuff in your that you've won on auction, don't go bid on that last thing that's going to fall outside of your shipping window.
Yeah.
So now you've bid on a box and 2 5-packs and you've won them. Don't bid on something that the auction closes on a Wednesday when your cutoff is a Tuesday, and now that 1 5-pack you're going to pay $7 shipping on. You have to be mindful of when your shipping cutoff is.
I think another point in terms of how to bid on these cigars too is I'm going to speak to the discipline that Tim spoke to and the patience that Tim spoke to earlier. There's really no reason to bid a whole bunch of times on a traditional auction. It's, in my opinion, the best way is to know when it's going to end, and don't really start paying attention to it till it's about to end.
It's about to end. Yeah.
I mean,
you can go on those
you
auction
can go
sites
on
and see
and bid
bids.
and get
Yeah.
bid and bid and bid and bid and bid, and really all you're doing is driving up your price. Where if you could let you bid once, somebody else outbids you, so you bid again, then he outbids you, then you end up paying more. Whereas if you just bid once, the guy outbids you, and then you wait till the last minute and snipe it. It
goes back to my
You get
rules.
into a war. It's emotional.
Yeah.
It's
So
all-
here's the thing. It goes back to my rules 3 and 4. Set a reserve if you can. Right. English auctions are awesome. You can go in and say, I want to pay X amount for these cigars. Someone may be bidding $1, right, on this box, and there's 6 days on the auction. You say, well, I've done my research. I know that if I pay $100 for this box of cigars, it's still $50 less than I can buy it for anywhere else. I set a reserve of $100. If someone's bidding $1, it's only going to increment my bid to $2.
Right.
Everyone else can fight it out for the next 6 days. And a lot of times you'll win. You'll get to the end of the auction, you go, I got it for $90 because no one else's bid went past yours during the 6-day period of the bid. So the coolest part for me sometimes is I'll go into the auction site, pay attention. Hey, it's an English auction. Okay, the bid's right now, maybe it's at $40. Well, I'd pay $100 for that box of cigars. I'll plug in $100. Everyone else bids it out. At the end of the auction, maybe I get it for $80 because the bid hasn't gone up past $80.
Right.
So I get a whole box of 25 cigars for $80. Sweet, that's a score. The other thing is, use your favorites and watch lists, right? If you know that there's a particular kind of cigars, and they don't change that, I'll be honest. Cigar Bid, Cigar Auctioneer, they do fluctuate, but it's a very slow fluctuation of what they're actually getting rid of on auction. And a lot of stuff they're getting rid of on auction, 90% of it is the stuff they want to get rid of, and 10% of it is maybe the stuff you want to smoke.
Just to
right?
keep you interested.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
What they're doing.
So I'll create a watch list, and I'll see stuff that comes up on auction in my 10% of unique stuff that usually shows up on auction. I'll put that on my watch list and go from there.
So the best thing to do, I would say, is go on auction, listen to Stogie Geeks, go back, and then bid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Find out
I
what's good.
completely agree with that.
I
Yeah.
mean, think about it. Hey,
Yeah.
come over. You got a question? Ask.
The
We
other
can
thing
tell
is
you.
get a larger humidor. If you're successful on auctions, you're going to get a lot of smokes that you like for a really discounted price.
I agree. I agree.
I've got a giant cooler with some beads in it that primarily is like overflow from stuff I'm winning on auction. And it's good stuff. So let's talk about the stuff I've won on auction recently. I want to start off with Puro Vintage Salomon 2003. Now, what's your guys? Who sells to smoke this cigar?
Please.
If you smoked the 2003,
Yes.
what'd you think?
Absolutely delicious. I like I said, I enjoy the 2003. I think it's a great smoke. I prefer the 2004 down the line. At this point,
Yeah,
the 2003 is a much more rounded, balanced.
it's a
cigar.
milder smoke.
But all day long, for what I know what you said, what
Yeah.
you paid for it. I do it all
Now,
day
Mark
long.
Jr., have you smoked both?
Yes.
What do you think between the two?
Right now, it's hard to say that the 2003 would be better than 2004. Right now, I agree with the assessment that over time, the 2004 may hit that level or potentially exceed that level.
Yeah.
But right now, the 2003 is kicking
So
ass.
I went on auction. I won a 5-pack of 2003 La Aurora Puro Vintage Salomons for $29. I won another 5-pack for $41. So I got 10 for $70, which means I paid $7 a piece plus, I don't know, whatever, $4.99 shipping, right? Whatever. MSRP on this stick is $20 each, and Cigars International is selling them on their site for $16.95, and I got them for $7. I got a 10-pack, 10 of them for $7 each.
I also bought they come in boxes of 8. Well, they actually come in bundles of 8.
Bundles, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Believe it or not, they come in a bundle.
Right.
But I got a bundle of 8 on Freefall for $45, and all said and done to my house, it was $50 shipped.
That's cheap.
It was dirt cheap, and I had to buy them.
You're not. How can you go wrong?
Yeah.
And $16 to $17 is the going rate.
Yeah, I mean, you get 50% off at least 50% off of what you can buy them for. And to me, that's a value. I got an 18 cigar sampler of Gurkha cigars for $34. You think about what, I mean, do the math on that. To try
It's
a
less
bunch,
than $2 a
yeah,
stick.
I got a Gurkha Beauty, a Beast, some of the ones we did unbanded, the Black Dragons in a smaller size, and for dirt cheap. La Aurora Preferidos limited edition Lancero Cameroons. Now this was a Yankee auction, so I got 5 at my price of $7 each. Now to me, that's a value. I would pay $7 a stick for those things all day long.
Right.
Those things are awesome.
I would as well.
Yeah. Guillermo Leon Corona Gorda 5-pack. This is a cigar that I tried when it was first released at IPCPR. I thought it was good. It was a little unbalanced. Maybe need some age. I wanted to try it again. I didn't necessarily want to go out and pay MSRP for this stick. I got a 5-pack for $19. Right? Come on. I mean, it's not even $4 a stick.
Duh.
Yeah. So that's a cigar we can, and a lot of these I'm buying for the show so we can try and review on the show. So it falls outside of the norms
Did you
of.
review any of those, Mark, that he bought?
Not yet. No.
me either. Tim, did you review these cigars that he said he bought?
I have not had any of these yet.
Okay.
Oh,
maybe-
weird.
No,
Weird. He
doing
bought
a
them for the
different
show,
show.
though. He bought them for the show, though.
In all fairness, not all the cigars have come in yet. So keep your panties. Don't get your panties in a bunch. You can buy cigar accessories.
Studio Z.
I don't think I get a really great deal on this. This is a Blazer CG1 cigar lighter for $30. Yeah, I think I didn't really win on that one. Alec Bradley Black Market Robusto. I got a 5-pack for $22.
That's not bad.
That's good, right?
Yeah, the MSRP on those
Yeah.
are like
No, we were
$5.99.
talking about aging Padron like 3000s, which is the Robustos.
and the 6s. All of them. They're
I got a
great.
box of 3000 Stogie Santa for $112.
That's a good price.
That's a really-
it really truly is.
It's an already reasonably priced cigar, which I got even cheaper. I took the entire box, stuffed it in my aging humidor. I'll forget about it for at least a year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for $112, we know those cigars age well. So, La Riqueza 4-pack, La Riqueza number 4, a 5-pack for $15.
That's a steal.
That's a
Yeah.
good steal. That's a
And
steal,
the whole
yeah.
thing is, and just think, and Pete thinks that's the weak. When I say Pete Johnson thinks that's one of his weakest cigars in his line. That's right from Pete.
I disagree.
Oh, me
Entirely.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great cigar.
It's also one of
I think I've only ever smoked the
favorites.
3s, but
What's
they're
I got the
phenomenal.
La Aurora Escondidos Robusto, which is a cigar that was only supposed to be distributed at the La Aurora factory for $3 a stick, and I got 3 of them. And that's what kind of sparked it. I won those at $3 a stick, and I was like, well, I'm not going to pay shipping on those, so I'll order some more stuff. So, closing thoughts from the crew on cigar auctions?
The whole thing, it gives you an avenue. I mean, here I am with a B&M, but the whole thing is people support the B&M, and I thank you very much. But when you have bids like this, you have to take advantage. You just have to do it. It's that simple. And the notes that Paul and Mark and Tim brought to the table, use those wisely and don't overpay for it. Just think like you're going to a B&M. You're not going to pay that price. Do the same type of research online.
Yeah, here's the thing. You're not going to be able to go pick which cigars you want, right?
Right.
Like, if I've got one in mind and it's not on an auction, I can't buy it.
Right. It's
If
that
I walk
simple.
into a local B&M, I got a lot more selection.
It is
But
what it
if
is.
there's a
What it
certain
is.
cigar
Exactly.
like the La Riqueza, for example,
Right.
that
No
you're
one can-
looking for, I suggest doing a quick search on these sites because you can pick them up for 40 to 60% off
Right.
MSRP.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're going to see the La Riqueza, or you're going to see the Fastos on there. What happens is that, again, they're not going to hold on to these cigars. What's old, what's new becomes old very quick, and they've got to get rid of it. Like Paul was saying, you're going to see good smokes out there from $2 to $4, maybe $5. How can you beat that? It's hard.
I do have a couple of tips to add, Paul.
Go ahead.
Number one, long weekends are your friends. Because I guarantee you this, not as many people are paying attention on Memorial Day or 4th of July weekend to these sites
Good point.
as they are during the weekdays. And I've scored some pretty
that's a
good
good
deals on long weekends like that,
Very good.
just
Excellent
hanging
point.
around the house. And two, and I think Paul touched upon it earlier, you're not going to get a great deal on Padron anniversaries or Liga Privadas on these sites. Usually what happens is bidding wars break out. There's a lot of areas in this country, and I'm sure others, where they just don't have access to those smokes. So people are willing to pay more than MSRP for those smokes.
Same with Opus, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not unusual to see, a Padron or a Liga Privada going for $2 or $3 more a stick than MSRP
Well,
on
and-
these sites.
But you can't blame those people. They can't get them. So it is what it is.
So don't get emotional about it. Don't get into a bidding war over a cigar. It's not worth it. I mean, I'm not saying don't try, but those hard to find sticks sometimes go for more than what they're worth. So
Great point, Tim.
Well put.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for listening. It's been a fun show as usual. And I want to tell everyone they can get all of the Stogie Geeks goodness on our website, www.stogiegeeks.com. Thanks to the illustrious crew here on Stogie Geeks, Stogie Santa, Mark Jr., and Tim. Thank you very much, guys.
One last parting word for all of us out there that enjoy cigars and premium cigars, for that matter. Join CRA. It's
Absolutely.
They are fighting for us when no one else is, and the FDA is trying to get their hands in on something that shouldn't be there.
And screw that.
Their arena. And
it's
they
really
are going to destroy our hobby in short order if they have the opportunity.
They're getting there slow but sure.
That's right.
And they are. So sign up, sign the petitions, pay the money, join CRA.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the more concerning things that I've seen over the past couple of weeks, especially as it's been heating up. The FDA, like you said, Mark, is trying to get their hands on our cigars. And I think their kind of mantra of public health is falling short on
it's called funding.
There's a lot of holes in their argument, and we need to stand together and show that it's responsible adults doing the responsible thing, smoking premium cigars, and it's not fueling the cause that they're kind of lighting the torch under.
We're not sucking down cartons of Marlboro and handing them to our kids. Okay,
exactly.
You know, stand up for yourself, stand up for your friends, and
the thing that really gets me is we've seen in the news where kids are drinking hand sanitizer,
right?
And what's being done about that? I mean, if children are going to be that irresponsible and go to the lengths that they are to get alcohol and do things like drink hand sanitizer, how is making it more difficult for people who are adults that work for a living that want to enjoy a premium cigar? How is it making it more difficult for them to get cigars? How is that helping the cause? To me, that makes no sense, and we need to stand up and join together, like you said. Join CRA, sign the petitions.
I challenge you to find a 14-year-old that's trying to smoke a premium cigar to get a buzz. I challenge you.
18,
find it.
19.
Yeah, find them.
That's
you find them, and I'll eat my words.
Right.
That's where you go on there and sign up. Well, we got the 25,000 signatures that we needed, but just don't forget about. We need more.
Yeah.
Like I said, keep your hands dirty and smoke good
Our
cigars.
numbers.
That's it. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the next episode.